Okay, welcome to episode number 43 of Your Next Level Mastermind. Our topic for this week is, how do you overcome not making progress in business? How do you get out of a darn slump, right? And what I'd like you to think about also is, for some people, it's a challenge when it comes to social media, because the reason they could be in a slump or a dump or whatever it is because they have a problem posting on their profile if they are in another business. They're worried about their current business impacting their new potential business. So when you get into your breakout groups, could you bring that up in terms of your discussion? Because that could also be holding some people back from making progress, all right? So before we start, I've got some apologies from Penny Kennedy, who will hopefully be here next week, from Pat Dry, Pat Kern, they're at the convention, correct, thank you. Desi Perez, who would love to make it, but she can't do it this week, and Martha, who's run the session herself. And before we get into the actual promotions of each of you, which for those who are watching this, please make sure you listen to these people very carefully, because they not only give up their valuable time, but they've got expertise to share with you that you would normally pay a lot of money to get access to, and you can get free access to these people and share what your challenge and situation is with them. It's too good an opportunity to miss. So when you are watching this on YouTube, for example, look in the description box, check out the profiles they've got, check out the links they've got there, and go and share some time with them. They are here at your service, all right? That's the first thing. Secondly, for those in the Your Next Level group, would you please check out, there's a little post I put in there called Be Careful What You Ask For, right? Be careful what you ask for. It's a little one-page PDF, and it puts a twist on the permission-based type of conversation you should have with a potential customer. I think you might find it interesting. Next, Yvonne Jones's invitation is still viable. Yvonne, am I correct in saying that in terms of interviews about passions? Is that correct?
Sorry, I forgot I muted myself. Yeah, would you repeat your question?
Yeah, I'm just asking, is your invitation to come on with you in terms of the passion interview still viable? It's still available?
Yes, it is. And in fact, John D. Allen was my guest on Wednesday.
Excellent. Well,
Thank you to him. We had a great conversation. I would love to have that kind of conversation with other members.
Okay. Well, look, why don't you put that conversation in our group as well?
I did. It's waiting for your approval.
Oh, beg your pardon. I'll make sure I do it straight after this. Sorry about that. So for the other people who are interested in getting on that thing, please contact with Yvonne directly, okay? Next, Anna Robson has a group there, invite called Women Encourage. So for all the ladies who are watching and involved in the Your Next Level group, okay, please connect with Anna in that group, Women Encourage, okay? The last bit I want to talk to you about is this, especially seeing our topic is, how do you overcome not making any progress in your business? Sometimes people need a bit of a pickup of some sort. Well, there's a very simple little site that gives you a daily motivation thing. If this is the sort of thing that you need, then have a look at it. It's called dailymotivation.site, S-I-T-E, right? Dailymotivation.site. They send you some really interesting things, okay? And you can unsubscribe at any time if you like, but I think you might find it helpful and of interest. All right, so that's the housekeeping. We're now going to start our 60-second commercials. For those who are watching, watch these people very carefully. They are giving from their heart and their expertise and the years of experience, and they are darn bloody good at what they do. So let's start with John Allen, followed by Monica. When you're ready, John.
Whenever you want to start the clock.
I knew you were going to say that, so I'm going to start the clock right now.
Hello, everyone. I'm John D. Allen. The name of my company is Allen Small Business Coaching. What I do is I'm the sage of marketing, and I help small businesses and professionals who are having problems getting the results they want with their advertising and marketing. I teach them how to change those results so they can build the business of their dreams. I'm located in southwestern Ontario, close to the other London, the one without the big bridge and the big clock. But I serve people all over this world. What I'm looking for is professionals and service-based business owners who need some help with their business. So if you know anybody that fits into this situation, have them give me a call. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Monica Periadi, followed by Fred Gillen.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Monica Periade, and the company that I run is Coaching Lives. What I do in one sentence is I'm a transformational life coach. I help women who feel under pressure to achieve a more relaxed, enjoyable lifestyle, to create transformation in their life and gain more clarity of how they want to go on their life and transit more smoothly their career. I help them become more enjoyable in their work space and be more assertive with their life choices. I'm located at the moment in Dubai, but of course, through the technology, I can help everybody through the online. And this week, I'm looking for women between 30 to 55 that want to gain more clarity and transformation in their life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Monica. Fred, followed by Yvonne.
Thanks, Peter. Fred Gillen, More Marketing Ideas. I'm a local SEO and messenger marketing coach and implementation strategist. And I'm also a virtual CMO, and that stands for Virtual Chief Marketing Officer. So I help small businesses get their online marketing organized. Why do I do it? I just love what I do, and I love helping people. And I'm based in Melbourne, Australia, but I service the world. Just got off a call to somebody in Texas, and it was, 4 a.m. their time, so they're early starters. And what am I looking for? Anybody that wants to automate their lead generation. So I'm the lead generation guy and automation man. Fred Gillen, More Marketing Ideas.
Thank you very much, Fred. Yvonne Jones, followed by
Good morning,
Jeff Veale. Sorry.
Good morning, everyone. I am Yvonne A. Jones, your client relations specialist. I'm a personal business coach, and I specialize in teaching simple, actionable client relationship strategies that allow you to build your emotional connection with the clients that you love so that they become your loyal advocates and raving fans. I do this with individuals and I do this in organizations. I also provide a service that helps you protect your identity, your personal identity, as well as protect your business against cyber attacks. I do all of this because we are all here to support each other, and I love helping people with the knowledge that I have acquired over the years. I'm located in Central Florida, but I work with individuals on a global basis. And this week, I'm simply looking for individuals who want to have a conversation regarding sharing their passion to fill the end of December and going to January on my weekly interview, Everyday Passion show. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you very much, Yvonne. Jeff Veale, followed by Anthony Piselli.
Well, I'm glad I'm not following Santa Claus. This is Jeff Veale, thebusinessguru.com.au. I've been doing marketing for well over 40 years, and you get pretty good at it when you've done something for 40 years, and I'm still learning every day. Why do I do it? I have a passion to see people grow and learn and generate more income for their business. Location, who do we serve? We serve the world, basically, all English-speaking countries. And this week, I'm looking for people who have a website and want to improve that website with a simple tweak, improve it by 20 to 30% by just adding a little tweak to it. Thanks very much, Peter.
Wow, that sounds interesting. Thank you very much, Jeff. Santa Claus, followed by Chris Marks.
I had to show up with bells on today. So who do you know that has a child, a youngster, a niece? You have to excuse me, my screen's changed on me for some reason. Anyway, so it's 63 days, 16 hours or 15 hours, 39 minutes until Christmas. Who do you know that would love a visit from Santa? As busy as we are, I want to meet with everyone before Christmas. I'm coordinating visits from Santa all year round. And if we can get in touch, I can get in touch with you. That's via Zoom. And Zoom is the new way of saying hello and reaching out. Who do you know there's a youngster, a niece, a nephew, or a grandchild that could use a mid-year check-in, a birthday greeting, or a special message from Santa? You know, I work with kids from 1 to 92. And the 93-year-olds and up, oh, you get a special visit. Just message me for more details. You can find me on Facebook at Santa Anthony.
Thank you very much, Santa Claus. Chris, over to you, my man. Can you follow that? Up to you.
I don't think I can. Honestly, I can't
Give it a
bring
shot.
anything more
Give it a
joyful
shot.
than that. I'm not going to lie.
You can do it. You can do
Just
anything.
I'll give it a go, Andy. I'll give it a...
Do the Easter Bunny, Chris.
Let's do the Easter Bunny.
Hey, I'll do better than that, Chris. I'll give you 2 minutes.
Awesome. Cheers, mate. So my name's Marksy, but you can search me on Facebook, Marksy Digital Marketing Dubbo. Although I'm in Dubbo and God, I'm just reading your sentences here. I've just lost what I'm talking about. Even though I'm in Dubbo, I work remotely. I'm just going to go through these sentences. What I do in one sentence, I help small to medium businesses go online. So that means building a website or doing social media. Why do I do it in one sentence? I just enjoy it. It's my passion. Location. So as I said, I work in Dubbo, but I work remotely, so I can do overseas as well as within Australia. And this week I'm looking for more clients who want to increase their digital presence. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's it.
You want any more time?
Nah, that's all I need. That's all I need, mate.
Okay. Thank you
I
very
think I
much, Chris.
got it across. Cheers, mate.
You did. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Well, now look, we've only got a small number tonight. I'm a little bit surprised actually, because there's quite a few people said they're going to be here, but they didn't show up. Anyway, because we only got that, we're going to have one group. I'm not going to put you all in one group. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And really all I want is you to look at how do you overcome, right, not making progress in your business. When you get in a slump, what have you done to solve that problem? Because we all get in that damn situation, right? And secondly, to help those people who are concerned from the social media aspect, how do you go about trying to do something for your business on social media when you're already employed somewhere else and you're worried about perhaps your employer seeing you may be doing something else? So think that thing through as well. All right, that's my thoughts for you. And finally, before you go, please make sure you put all your links, whatever you want people to connect with you, into the actual chat area. And then before we finish, click the 3 little dots to save that. All right. So make sure whatever you want people to go and connect with you, whether it's a website or a social media site or all of them or a landing page or whatever it is, put them all in there and I'll make sure I get them all done for you.
Peter,
Yes.
did Leanne go?
No, she's here.
She's muted.
I'm here.
She's here, but we're not doing it. We're not doing a 60-second commercial with Leanne because she's in work.
Oh.
Okay, so talk softly. Okay. Okay, bear with me. Okay, we're changing the normal procedure rather than going into breakout rooms because we just started that for those who are watching the recording. And to be quite frank, there's too much being discussed. I think it's better to hear from the horse's mouth, seeing we've got a small group. Okay, so without any further ado, I don't want to control this at all. And John, you were doing the controlling before. I'll go back to you in terms of you calling upon people to speak. So.
Thanks, Peter. Monica, for the sake of the recording, can we get you to repeat what you'd said, please?
Absolutely. I have no, as long as I can hear the question again.
When you're
How do
struggling,
you overcome?
Yeah.
How do you overcome not making progress in your business? How do you get out of a slump?
And I think John was asking me how you keep motivated, how you keep going, because it's kind of in line with what I'm doing. So, yes. But as I hear, I think we touched two very sensitive points. How while you have already a job, how do you keep posting on the social media your passion, your other business? So I think one way it's you put your identity aside and you just try to put your services out there rather than the who you are. And then to go to answer as per my knowledge and my personal experiences is, I think when you struggle, and if you struggle in your business and you kind of, and because we don't know everything, I think it's always important to look at the end results and to look at your outcome, what you want to, and be in love with that. That's one important. And as to have a proper mindset, a healthy mindset, this is very important to always be committed to what you want to achieve. I think, and to believe in what you have to offer. I think this is what creates value. People not always buy what they need, they will always buy what they want. So in order to be able to increase your business and to go across the struggles, I think it's important to always think from the point of the clients, of the customers. And thank you.
So Monica, just reiterate there a bit. When you were talking about, basically for you to get out of a slump, you're saying you have to love your business and you have to, and because you don't know everything, don't worry about it, but you have to continue to learn and grow so that you can help others in your business. Would that be correct? Yes,
because you can't control you can't control much of the thing that's happening outside, and especially if you are not a high tech, if you don't have the expertise of, because now everything moves online and so on. And I think that's the type of the business we are all in. I mean, that's the channels, the platform and so on. Yes, it's exactly how to say, and it's always to be how to say connected to the people that you serve, to the people that you sell your products. And while you can't control anything that is outside of your immediate control, you continue to work on yourself and because you are the person who will grow the business. So while growing on yourself is the same as you grow your business. That's what I believe.
Okay, great. Thanks, Monica.
Thank you.
Yvonne?
Okay, so as I was thinking about this question, I thought of four things. Four things came to mind. The first one is mindset. And of course, mindset is a set of beliefs. That's simply what it is. It's nothing woo-woo. Mindset is a set of beliefs. So what do you believe as far as, for example, money? What is your mindset? What is your belief about money? Many of us have unconscious beliefs that money is evil, money is bad. Maybe because we misunderstood something that was said. Or it may be something in our childhood that created that belief. Whatever it is, there has to be an alignment between what you want and what you think. So if you think money is evil, money is bad, and you say you want to make more money, there's a disconnect. So we have to examine ourselves and first of all and see what our attitude is towards something as simple as just money. Then processes and systems in my mind, they kind of are intertwined. What processes do we have in our business so that we are consistently delivering, making it easy for ourselves, and then consistently delivering the results for our prospects, even in marketing, the marketing aspect. Are we just marketing here, there, and just kind of like throwing spaghetti on the wall and hope something will stick? Or do we have a system in place? That's important. And you all know from me that building those strong customer relationships, client relationships are important. So do you have a system that's in place that you can consistently build those relationships so that your clients and your customers know what to expect of you and expect from you? Then the fourth thing is getting help, seeking support, advice from those who are where you want to be. You may have come up, and we all know that coaches have coaches. The top coaches have top coaches. And so for me personally, it's hard for me to function without a coach or a mentor or someone, even a collaborative partner who won't accept my nonsense. So when I say I'm going to do something, they're willing to hold me accountable that I am going to do it. And then if you have a struggle and there's something that you want help with, and you know that at your level, you need somebody who's thinking even bigger. Because sometimes we think we're thinking big, but we're thinking way too small. So we need somebody to help us think bigger and see the bigger picture as to what we can really accomplish, because we might need someone to reinforce in us that we can do it. So that's my 30,000 foot overview of what we can do when there's a slump in our business.
Thanks, Yvonne. Anybody have any questions for Yvonne?
No, she did so great. I mean, really.
Yeah, she covered it all.
Yeah.
Okay, we're done, Peter. So
Yeah.
Oh, see,
Outsource.
What I'm going to do with you, Santa, is you and I are going to go second. You're going to go second last. I'll go last because, we don't,
okay.
these guys, so they're not feeling intimidated following you. Chris, we'll move you right up here so you don't even come close to Santa.
Yes.
That's all right. Oh, you want me to go? God, that's embarrassing. You move right, man. Honestly, I can't even go after Yvonne. You've literally put me on the spot. She's covered everything. I feel the exact same way lately. It's so funny that we're talking about this, and this is the stage that I'm at in my business. It's almost like you've prepared this just for me, Yeah, an accountability partner is super important. I find when you're self-employed and you've got to do your own business tasks, you find yourself dicking around, maybe even doing 5 tasks all at once, going from one task to another task. Sorry for my language, but it's Australian in me. You go from one task to another task, back to the other, and you never complete a whole entire project. God, am I unmuted? That'd be embarrassing, wouldn't it?
Are you good, Chris?
You're going back and forth, but everything that Yvonne has said, she's covered all of the things that I feel now, like a mentor. Like when I first started, I didn't have a mentor. I thought I could do it on my own. I didn't know anything about outsourcing, like hiring other people, because I thought that it would be too expensive, but I didn't realize I could pass the costs onto the customer, onto the client, you know what I mean? And I didn't understand all these things. If I had a mentor, I would have grown a lot faster. Than rather doing it on my own. If I had a group of people like you guys, like business folk to talk to, I would have grown so much faster. But instead I was stubborn. I just thought, I'm going to try it on my own. Everyone's against me. Everyone's a competitor. You know what I mean? Everyone's a competitor. That was my mindset. But now I've come to the realization you need someone to kick you up the bum. You need someone to,
Yes, Chris, but you needed that time as well. Sorry to interrupt you. You need that wandering time and on your own. And you need a bit of a struggle before you get to here. So that's a time we all go through,
Yeah, exactly.
That's the time that it's a slot that we need. Sorry about it.
No, that's all right. Yeah. Well, just like Yvonne said, you need systems to keep like in place to, keep going. You can, it's repeatable. Once you've learned it and you know what to do, you can just keep repeating it and repeating and repeating it. But yeah, it's all about mindset, really. I think anyone can make $1 million online. It doesn't take a genius. You just got to have that mindset. So yeah, that's all I can say. Yvonne and Monica has pretty much covered it. There's absolutely nothing else to say. I'm speechless. I'm just repeating really what they've said pretty much. So
actually,
yeah,
you're not, Chris, because you shared some honest truth. I think that's very important. The fact is that we all probably went through that stage when we thought we could do it on our own, right?
Yeah.
And that's a hell of a message people should pick up anyway. So I appreciate you saying that.
Mhm.
And the other thing, Yvonne, I want to say to you, because you mentioned a bit about finding mentors and coaching, etc. These days there are so many coaching coaches. I mean, it's unbelievable online. I mean, it's a flavour of the month. Probably, I don't know whether the COVID's got anything to do with it or whatever it is. But all I would suggest is I agree with that. I agree that you need to find a mentor or a coach. But you need to find a mentor or a coach that you can resonate with, that you can trust and you can believe in. That's the first thing. Secondly, you need to find somebody who actually is being where you want to get to, not just reading the books. Okay, that's the key issue. I think that's an important message for people to take hold of. Anyway, sorry, John, to interrupt, but I have to say me two bobs worth.
I appreciate it. Fred, do we get you to go next? You're muted.
Yep, yeah, I was muted. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's been covered. I suppose, like for me, my slump came with COVID because like it was all getting out and meeting people and all the rest. So that was a big eye opener for me because I never, and I think I said this in the room before, but I never used my own tools that I use for clients to promote myself. So it was all, doing it for clients, but never used social media to promote myself. And so it was like a mechanic with the car, it's the worst car in the street, whatever. You don't look after your own backyard or your own car or whatever. So a lot of that was just learning and getting out and doing it myself. And I've learned a lot by doing it on my own because before the client was paying me, so it was their money that was getting spent and not mine. Whereas now it's my time that's getting spent. So I suppose it's listening to a lot of other people that are out there, learning what they do. It's joining groups. Like I don't know how many networking groups, virtual networking groups I'm in now. One of the big ones for me, and I've mentioned this before on here, is Clubhouse. Like I get a lot of contacts at a Clubhouse and a lot of motivation out of it too, because the rooms I go into, everybody in there, and the same with this group, everybody's positive. I mean, you're not getting any of the negative stuff. So when you go into rooms and you get the positive attitude from other people, it does lift you up. Even if you're having a crappy day, by the time you get off that call, you're wound up again and you can get back into it. So, just join groups of other people and don't, if you're in a slump and you're on your own, that's the problem. You're on your own. Join, whether it's a virtual group, find out what's on, get in there and, share your knowledge and learn from other people and just get involved. Just mix around with other people. I suppose that's my take on it.
Fred, when you hit the wall for the very first time, can you remember that?
Oh yeah, it was probably June last year now. Yeah, it'd be June last year.
And what was your immediate reaction and thoughts and feelings at that point?
It was probably shit. What am I going to do? Because there was no money coming in, and you could see other number of my clients in the hospitality industry just closed the door. So it wasn't as though I saw the light at the end of the tunnel where it was only going to be for a couple of weeks. Like these guys went out of business. So, and there was other people in the same industry. So I also had to pivot the industries I was going after. So I had to look at who was actually working still, and who could pay, because that's the bottom line, So it was, but I just didn't sulk on it. I didn't get into my corner and say, poor me. I jumped online, had a look, see what was happening, see what forums were active, seeing where people were, and then took it from there.
But it was tough, right? Mentally.
Oh, yeah. And it still is. It's not like it hasn't got back to where it was. Like I'm not back to where it was. It's still a struggle, but, and like before I was doing all local stuff, literally in my own area. Now, most of my clients are in the US.
Mm.
Yeah, Fred, but now you are expanding, so that's mean you're never going to be in the same situation like you've been before.
Absolutely. And the market over there is obviously a lot bigger than Frankston or Melbourne, you know. So, and word spreads. You know, like I got another client today because I did a job for somebody last week, and I just recommended that, you know, I was on a call just before this one. As I said, they're in the US and they were up early. It was 4:00 a.m. their time or something. So, but yeah, no, it's heading in the right direction, I think.
Thanks, Fred. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jeff?
Was that me?
Yep, your turn.
Okay. Guys, it's a very interesting question, as they always are. You need days, not minutes. But slumps. Okay, slumps. I could write a book about it or make a movie this year. I lost my catering business, which I had for 20 years, with a $5 million turnover and 200 staff. That went down the drain because the government was closing everything down and letting people have parties for 5 people and 2 people, which is not viable, obviously. I had branches for the digital marketing all over Asia, in Malaysia, Bangkok, Indonesia, and because I can't travel, I couldn't get to them. So I lost those businesses and the contents of all those offices. But we move on. I'm here in Manila in the Philippines and have a positive attitude. I do several things that have kept me going for many, many years. I write down every day as a habit of mine. I write down 4, if not 6, no more, things I want to do the next day on a notepad. And then allegedly, your mind works on them while you sleep. So in the morning, you wake up, a lot of the time you got the solution. And I work on, they say, I think it was, I'm not sure, it might be Zig Ziglar, Peter would know. Someone said, you got to eat a frog. So what I do, I pick out the hardest one first and I knock that one over. And then you feel like a little bit of a reward. You think, hey, how good's that? Wasn't as hard as what I thought it was. And
that was Brian Tracy, by the way.
Brian Tracy, was it? Yeah, I knew it was one of the old boys. So then you work on the day becomes easier and easier. And I don't beat myself up. If I don't get through the 6, I might do 3, might do 4. I move those 2 that I didn't do, I move them over to the next day and they get priority. The other thing I find, the older I get, the more rabbit holes I go down, especially with the internet. You go on Facebook and look at something, and then Peter Beckenham picks up, you know, then you watch Peter Beckham's video, then that sends you down another rabbit hole, and off it goes. So what I do now, I use a egg timer or a timer, and I put it on about 20 minutes and then work on a project for that 20 minutes, flat out on that project. And if I need to, I just adjust the time and go again. And I find that works for me. The other thing is, you all know Winston Churchill. I read a book years ago. I've got a lot of books. And this particular book, I'm looking at myself, not the camera, sorry. This particular book said they had a big meeting in London where Winston Churchill was the guest speaker. And back in the day, they paid something like £500 to attend this dinner with Winston Churchill. They ended up with about 1,200 people there, and they're waiting and waiting and waiting. He's supposed to come out at 8 o'clock. Comes 9 o'clock. They're almost on desserts. And he finally comes out. There was a big cheer and a roar. And he walks out on the stage and he says, never, never give up. Good night. And off he goes. That was a message that should resonate with all of you. Never, never give up.
Very appropriate.
All right. So that's my message for tonight, guys. I hope you enjoyed that.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey.
Thank you.
By the way, in the chat, I put a link to a little video called 10 Ways to Get Out of a Slump. If you're interested, have a look at it too. Okay. All right.
Santa Claus.
Oh, I guess that leads, I'm up next. Let's see here. Chris, Fred, language. So we're gonna
You're gone, Chris.
Anyway, I'll give you a pass. I'll give you both a pass.
Does that mean no presents
you're so
this
good,
Christmas?
man.
I'm off the list, am I?
Well,
He doesn't do
making
double,
notes for the naughty nice list, but yes, they all add up in the end, but mostly they all wind up moving over. Everybody moves over to the nice list. But anyway, keeping a positive attitude, just like everything everyone else has said so far, it's the mindset, it's the positive attitude, it's looking for help. When you realize, like 3-4 years ago, when I realized, because one of the other things that I do is I do voiceover work. And that was before I became a Santa. And I realized, I'm like, oh my God, I've got no work. What do I do? Where am I going? What's happening to me? And so I started looking at what I was doing when I got the work, and I just re-examined what was going on. And then I reached out, and because there's some coaches that are out there. There's coaching, as Yvonne said, you need to have a coach. You need to have guidance, someone who's already been there. Why recreate the wheel when you don't have to? Someone's already been there in those footsteps, and they can guide you, and so you don't wind up getting too far down a rabbit hole that you don't want to be in. It's all about mindset. I've been doing a lot of training myself lately on mindset, and I've been following Bob Proctor. And, one of the things he said that Monica said was, if you don't like what's happening in your life, change your thinking. And it's all about thought and the thought processes and everything else that goes along with, your thought processes create your attitude and everything that goes on. That's thought processes are the beginning of the creative processes. If you think about it, everything that you have around you began with a thought, and then it became an idea, a dream, and then it became reality. And so if we can change our thoughts and our thought processes, then that's basically where, things start. And, when you hit that slump, you say, okay, what are my thought processes right now? And bingo. You can move forward once you can realize what's going on and accepting where it is. We're not only one infallible person walked the face of the earth. So it wasn't me, sorry, but that's basically it. I mean, you guys are so I love these get-togethers and this what do you call mastermind situations, these get-togethers, so that we have so much knowledge, that we can share with one another. It's beautiful, and I love it. And I thank you, Peter, for putting these together.
My pleasure to be of service to you, but I still think we should dig a bit deeper here. I mean, when you're in a slump, right? When you're in a slump, it is not very pleasant. And it's I heard what Fred said, and I agree with you, Fred. But my God, it's not easy to start thinking positive when you can't put food on the table. That's where it can get to with some people.
And that's where the fear can get you, and you can't let fear conquer.
Correct.
And fear is just and yes, go ahead.
No, you're right, Anthony. You what I'm really saying is prepare for it, because it's going to happen.
Right.
That's my point.
Right.
Okay? We all face this. People who think being an entrepreneur is a dream world, that's a whole lot of crap, all right? It's a lot of hard work. There will be times when you think, why in the hell did I do this, all right? And when you think like that too often, as Anthony said, if you think negatively, you're going to start taking negative actions, and then you're going to go down that drain hole. The drain hole that Jeff was talking about, which you call it a rabbit hole, but it's the same thing, right?
Rabbit hole that turns into a sewer pipe.
Right. So all I'm saying is, if when you're in a slump, expect it, okay? Expect it to be there. People have been there before you many, many times. And it's a test of your commitment to yourself as to what you really want to achieve. And all I'm saying to you is think of why you started business in the first place.
A healthy mindset will make you every day outsource for new ways to keep you on track, even when you fail. And with the food on the table, I think that's really a very sensitive scenario, I think. But
But it's true, Monica. Okay. I mean, I'm trying to be truly practical. There are people who face this reality. It's not a matter of just being nice. It's a matter of the fact that these people are struggling and they're challenging, should I have started the business in the first place? Especially when they've got people around them saying, why are you doing that? What's the point of it? You're wasting time. You're spending our money. You're not getting the results we want. These things make a slump really difficult. And I just wanted to make sure this was out there in public. That's all. I'm not being negative. I'm being pragmatic.
I've been in a
Oh,
position.
no, that's not negative at all.
Yeah.
It's
I've been,
Go ahead, John. No, go ahead.
no, I've been in a position Peter's been talking about where started a business. I was all gung-ho about it. Wasn't working out, and everybody around you saying, what are you doing that for? You're dumber than a bag of hammers. You know, like you're out there trying and you know, you can't find anybody to even talk to. And the negative emotions get in your head. You know, it's a big thing to overcome. You know, you have to keep swinging. You know, Yogi Berra, they asked him one time in baseball, how do you get out of a slump? He said, you have to keep swinging. Because if you give up swinging, you know, pack in that business, it's short and sweet. You know, that may not be what people want to hear, but if all you are is totally negative and you can't see any way out of it, you know, take a good look at yourself. Is that really what you want to be doing? And if it's not really what you want to be doing, get out. You know, you've got to be willing to fail and fail fast, because if you're not willing to fail and you're not willing to learn from your mistakes, that's where a lot of the problem comes in. Mm-hmm. I'll share a quick story. There was a lady in Herbalife many, many years ago when Larry Thompson was the VP. This lady was making $4,000 to $5,000 a month. And she came to Larry one day and she said, I quit. He said, what do you mean you quit? Well, you told me that everybody was going to say yes to this opportunity. And this person said, no, I quit. I'm done. It's not for everybody. And he said, but you're making $4,000 to $5,000 a month. She said, I don't care. This business isn't for everyone. I quit. She had it in her head. And because she'd been told by Larry and everybody else, you know, that this is for everybody. Only she took everybody literally. And I don't care who you are in business. We're all going to run into slumps. And if you don't have the right mindset and you aren't willing to keep going, you're done. So, you know, one quick thing I learned a long time ago, small businesses have three main concerns. They don't know how to generate instant cash. They don't know how to find new clients or prospects. And thirdly, they don't know who to turn to for professional help. You know, we've all basically hit on these 3 points today. And these are three very important things that we all have to remember in our own businesses, as well as when we're talking to our customers or clients. You know, we all need help. So, you know, have a mentor, have somebody you can talk to. Have a recipe. There's tons of recipes out there from success. If you follow that recipe and don't make any changes, you're going to be successful. If you're like some of us that are thick between the ears and want to make a couple quick changes, things don't work. So you've got to be willing to follow that recipe as it is. That's how you become a success. Peter, over to you.
Oh, I think what you said is excellent, but it brings me back to what Jeff said. I mean, I'm with you, Jeff, maybe because we're two old buggers, right? But I'm with you. I need to write things down. When I write things down, I get them out of my head and get them out of my heart onto a bit of paper. Okay. First of all, I don't forget them when I write them down. Secondly, when they're out there, I can look at them more objectively. If they're in my head, all this other emotional crap's going on at the same time. I need to get it on a piece of paper and then put next to it, what am I going to do about it? What is the action step I'm going to do about it in order to get out of that slump? And when I decide on that action step, then I put that action step in the calendar to make sure I do it. Otherwise, it's just all theory. So I agree where you're coming from, Jeff. Sorry.
Peter?
Yes.
I just shared an article I had written about how to use failure to grow self-belief.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
So I invite everyone to read that. It's
will.
not a fix-all, but it just helps us to appreciate. It helped me when I wrote it, and it's helped other people to appreciate that, failure will, just like you were saying, failure will happen, and we've all experienced it, or most of us. But it can serve to propel us to move forward.
May I put that link in the YouTube video description box?
Absolutely. Anything I put in there, you can always put in the
Okay,
YouTube.
thank you. Thank you.
And touching on what Peter and Jeff said, that one of the lessons that I've learned from Bob Proctor is about writing stuff down. When you write it out and you read it over and over and over again, it becomes a part of your belief system. And that belief becomes a thought, and that thought turns to action, and the action gets the results that you want. And that's so you could write negative things and get negative results. If you can write positive things, you can write the positive results. So as long as you write everything down, that's going to be the key to your success in belief and getting that belief from your heart to reality.
Thank you, Anthony.
Great point. Love that.
Can I just get back to one other thing I asked before, because I want to make sure I've got everyone's thoughts about that. If you are on social media and you are concerned about the fact that your employer may not like the fact that you've got some other interest, what have you done to overcome that problem? Because this is the challenge facing many people right now.
Yeah. Well, my 2 cents on that is, if your employer doesn't like what you are doing on your own, maybe it's time to become your own employer.
Exactly. For me, it happens. And
then just take that as an incentive, or as a hint to move further and deeper and faster and onto your whatever it is that you're doing, to give you that much more oomph. Hey, here's my impetus for doing this. My boss doesn't like me doing this, because my boss doesn't he doesn't think highly enough of me that I can think on my own and be my own boss. So here I am, bam. Okay, that's the kick in the pants. Yeah, that's the kick in the pants that you probably need to get moving and get started and really put your heart and soul into it.
Anybody else?
That's great, Anthony. I also see there could be a conflict as well. If you have branded yourself, take for example myself. I've branded myself as the client relations. People know me as the person who talks about customer service, client relationship, and so forth. So even though for 4 years I promote a certain business, which is protect yourself with legal shield, affordable access to the legal system, and identity theft, I rarely ever put anything on my profile for that, because in my mind, and I've worked with Pete on this, I don't want to confuse people. But I'll just share with you one of the things that Peter had shared with me is that my market is the same. It's small business owners. And so there are people who struggle with things like these. They're doing one thing and they don't want to confuse their branding so that people... And I saw that recently. There's a woman who she has got her gratitude t-shirt. Everything is all about gratitude for years. She's even got movie stars who wear her t-shirts. Now she has moved into something like Canva. And it's like all of a sudden there's a disconnect in the minds of her. What are you talking about? We're used to seeing you talk about gratitude. No, you're talking about Canva and graphic design. So I think, Peter, you might want to talk a little bit about that, because I think that is true. It's not necessarily working for someone else. It's, do you want to confuse people, or you want to avoid confuse people with your branding? Because if you're branded as one thing, how do you transition into something else so that people don't get confused?
I agree, but can we leave that for another session? Because that's a huge topic on its own.
Yes.
I'm not trying to duck it, because I could talk for an hour, and you know that, Yvonne, right?
I know.
Okay, but I would, let's talk about that again, because that's a really important topic, but a little bit off where I'm trying to get to just now. Is that okay?
That's okay. I
But
just
I'll
wondered
share
about that apart from an employer and employer getting
Oh, yeah.
concerned about yourself.
yeah. I will definitely make sure that's a topic again. I'll guarantee you that, and I'll put my 2 bobs worth in. Sorry, for those who are not Australian, you don't know what I'm talking about. I'll put my 2 cents worth in. One thing I just sort of share with you, I have a client. He's a really good guy. He's an Australian guy. He's involved with a company in Australia, a pretty big organisation called BHP. All right, and this organisation, he is senior management within BHP. He's getting out of BHP, but he was concerned about using social media in any way to promote his other business, and his other business is, coaching arena. Okay, he's a statistician. That's what he is, right? So what we did is we don't do any work at all on his personal profile. But what we did is we built a group for him. Okay, we built a group for him within LinkedIn, not Facebook, but within LinkedIn. Okay, and then we drove people to that group with him, and it wasn't his name in the group, it was a name of the objective of the outcomes of the group. Does that make sense? So this is how, and he's now at the point where he's probably earning the same amount of money as he is right now. And I think probably before the end of the year, he'll be leaving BHP and running his own business. But that's how we did it. Okay.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, that's
good.
awesome. That's awesome. That's
Great.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, take it that's a very good idea is to, to start up another group, start up a group page for yourself away from your personal page, with your business name. And going to LinkedIn, that's genius. That's just genius.
Well, the reason we have to be careful, I want to make sure he was absolutely committed to this because it's a big jump, right? And if he was caught out, it could have affected because he's looking for a payout, right? Obviously, right? And they have all sort of incentives and share schemes, et cetera, within BHP. He didn't want to put any of those at jeopardy. But they will accept at the end of this year, they will accept him resigning. Okay. But if they fired him, he would lose a lot of stuff. So he had a lot on the line. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought for those, you haven't got to be a senior manager. I mean, if you're worried about that, why don't you set yourself up a little group within social media? You don't need thousands of people to be successful. I mean, this group we're in now has got less than 200 people. And I love it, right? And it's good for me and it's good for my business. I get 20 or 30 messages every single day, okay, from people in the group who are asking for help, and I'm happy to give it, etc. Right? So if you are concerned about your mother or your father or your auntie telling your business about you got something else, start a group and make sure you don't add them in the group. Keep them out of it. This is private for you, and don't have the group named after you.
But I actually did that for a number of years with Facebook. Like I had a different profile, that had nothing, like, because I didn't want the family knowing what I was doing.
Yeah.
Not my immediate family, but, my in-laws and cousins and, all the relatives. I didn't want them knowing what I was doing.
Yeah.
Now I don't care. I just, I'm out there everywhere now. But at the time, it was closed while I was getting going. Yeah.
Yeah, because there probably would have been negative little things in
totally.
your ear, right?
Absolutely, because I was like that, Peter. I was in corporate, I was working in corporate, but I was also establishing what I'm doing now, right? Yeah. So I was establishing that, but I didn't want the two to conflict. Didn't care about what corporate thought about it because I was only a contractor, but and it was a set tenure. But building it, I just didn't want the family knowing about it because I knew they'd all say, "Oh, you're mad. Just stay what you're doing. Just stay in corporate. Do whatever."
Yeah. Well, the other thing also is, do not tie yourself to social media for your business future, right? And there are people on this call who can build websites for you and do marketing for you and they're here, right? By all means, use a group structure within the social media to get yourself going. But if you haven't got a website and you're not building your email list, then you really haven't got a customer base you can rely on. I mean, I'm probably talking to the converted, but I'm not actually talking to this group. I'm talking to those who are watching, right?
The other thing, there's big things happening with Facebook at the moment. There's a whole rebranding thing going on within Facebook itself. That
Yeah, they're going to change their name, aren't they?
Well, they're actually going to offset, and it's a lot to do with what's happening in the US courts, because they're, you know, with the monopoly type of aspect that Facebook has, and they're worried about that. So they're starting to divest themselves and set up mini companies. So who knows what the breakout of that's going to be like. But yeah, they're talking about rebranding for different structures, but really it's about the legal stuff so that they don't lose what they've got at the moment. So it's going to be interesting.
It is. But don't let that be a concern to you, because you should be using social media as a means to an end, not an end in itself. That was my message. Okay. You should have your own website. You really should have your own website. If you're serious about that, you need to have your own website, and you drive people to that website and get them on your email list, and you build relationships like that. And you can also build relationships in groups like this. That's what I was trying to get at. Cover your butt. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's all about basically who you know and who they know, because you don't want to be out there all on your own. You have to have, like Peter said, you have to have contacts and you have to have connections.
Yeah, yeah. Jeff, I like your comment, okay? If you want to please everyone, sell ice cream. Good point, good point. All right, anyone else want to add something to it? Because I'm very aware of I've kept you longer than normal, but I appreciate the input you've given. Any other
Well
thoughts?
worth every minute.
Any other
Yeah.
thoughts? We go?
I just say, hopefully Leanne got some good stuff out of this one today.
Absolutely, I was blown away. Thank you to all of you. I've learned really a lot, and I totally agree with everything each one of you said, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much, everybody. I really appreciate your input. And this is a topic that I'm pleased we did it this way rather than did it in the normal breakout room. I think it's probably more valuable to people watching to hear from the horse's mouth. So,
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, this is great. This is really great.
okay, so I'm going to end the recording, but I want to say thank you, and I'll see you same time next week, okay? For the very best.
Don't forget to save the chat.
Don't
All
forget,
right. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, don't forget to
Thanks,
say
Fred.
that.
All right,
Okay.
everyone. Have a wonderful,
Bye,
wonderful weekend.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Blessings.
Bye-bye.
Blessings.
Blessings to you.